folks, it is our third and final game of our triple-header broadcast coverage here at the Trey Young Family Athletic Center, and it features the Madill Lady Wildcats versus the Weatherford Lady Eagles. We will be heading to Preston later tonight and hopefully do at least a game and a half, possibly the games, but it'll depend upon large part what time we get out here and how long it takes to get there. Madill jumps on top, and they take the early 2-0 lead. Tomorrow, we'll skip the first two games of the day at Yukon High School, and then we will do 7 straight games. That'll make game number 18 on the week for PNTV coverage. And doing our best to cover as many of the schools and teams as possible, A, so that we can properly scout potential players of the year for the current basketball season, but B, also to make arrangements to hand out awards for players, softball, and baseball awards. So Weatherford with the early turnover to start the game. And we will see if it's just kind of a little bit of cold. Weatherford has been here for a while. Teasley with the ball, hands off and assist, no good on the shot. They'll hustle up the rebound. That's one of the girls we are going to be recognizing for the Humbe Player of the Year for Class 4A, Marley Teasley. She is joining our Miss Oklahoma watch list for the 10 best players in the state of Oklahoma for best overall players. Other students already on the list: Alyssa Parker from Pecola, J.L. Austin from Owasso, Libby J. Hughes from Moore. Qualify for the list, you have to be all-state or a state champion in multiple sports, and you have to be the best of the best multi-sport athlete. Here they go the other way. Another girl that has made the list from Low Kiva Sickles that had been a Mountain View Godivo, Rowan Fine. Slow start to the game. Only 2 minutes have transpired, and we still have no score. Punches through the perimeter and gets the right roll. And just like that, early 4-0 lead for Madill. So the Lady Wildcats have come out smoking hot to start the game. Some of these games, you never know. I often say that basketball is a season within a season that has 2 additional seasons. You have schools that try to compete while football is going on, so they've got partial rosters in the paint. Going to be a timeout call. Weatherford, they're going to stop that. That's 3 easy buckets, 1 or 2 foot jumpers or layups. But you have teams that try to field a team while football players are out, and in this particular case, softball players are out. And then you have the vacation break for Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and back to the first of the year. So that is kind of like a little mini season that you can squeeze in some games to finally get players on the field, on the court, and get them into somewhat basketball shape. And the second real phase, or if you want to call it the third, is the invitational side from January to the early part of March. And then the real season begins, a month-long stretch, a marathon standard in Oklahoma prep sports. You have districts, regionals, areas, and state, and that is where you really, really find out what you have. It is a 6-0 lead for Madill. Thank you for watching Prep Nation TV today. This is our third and final game of the coverage for today. We will be heading to Preston again at the conclusion of this game after we interview the most outstanding player of the game and then do the video highlight reel. We'll be squeezing in a Prep Nation award presentation for Caden Dean from Preston High School, just out of Oak Mulgee. Tomorrow, we'll skip the first two games in the morning. Primarily, the reason why we're covering these games now, so that we do not miss Lawton MacArthur and Madill during their first parts of the tournament. And then it'll be 7 games on tap tomorrow, live streams, PA, and interviews with most outstanding players at each conclusion of the game. We will likewise post video highlights. Weatherford now on the charity line to shoot, and they are officially now on the board. Well, only 1 point is scored. We have another little bop out, so they're going to reset the play with 4:26 to go. For those of you that are new to the SOS Showcase, please let me allow to share with you this is a benefit for Oklahoma student athletes, coaches, administrators, and educators, and mainly the metro Oklahoma City area who have sickle cell anemia and or disease. It is a gate-based promotion. Your tickets go to promote it. Donations, corporate contributions, and whatnot also contribute for expenses, therapy, treatment, stays. We'll be interviewing Alan Russell later in the tournament tomorrow from the SOS Foundation to let people kind of know what they do, how they do, the way they do it, and most importantly, how you can help contribute and help those in need in the metro area. This is our second consecutive year to broadcast games. We did have a late entry for getting the info for the bracket and the teams. Prior to that, I'd made a commitment to be in Preston tonight. Otherwise, we would broadcast all 5 games today and 7 of the 9 tomorrow. Weatherford looking to salvage the boys and girls doubleheader games. Lawton Mack was successful in doing so. Girls lost to Northside 58-32. Then the boys were victorious. Almost the same score, but not quite, over Madill boys. So Lawton Mack finishes day 1 1-1. Northside 1-0. Madill trying to not go 0-2. Stops, shoots, scores. I mean, you can't make that any better. Got the pivot foot down, shifted hands, made herself a nice little inlet, and put it in the paint. I'd like to thank our coverage sponsor for today's tournament action. Live stream and video highlights plus interviews brought to you by Charleston's Interurban and Pub W in Norman. Pub W also in Memorial location in Oklahoma City. Vecina's Mexican Cafe servicing the Hinton and El Reno Weatherford markets with 3 different restaurants. Used to have a Bravo's Mexican Cafe that's now under the umbrella of the family of Vecinas, Raul Jr. and Sr. AMC Theaters, Patriot 13 in Lawton, Oklahoma, and Fowler Toyota of Norman, a division of the Fowler Automotive Group. Thank you for your generous support and contributions so that we can make this feed today possible for those who cannot come due to distance, work, sickness, or whatever reason. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Go to the homepage, click subscribe. It is free. Well, this is not the start to the game that Weatherford wanted, nor probably some people were anticipating. Madill looking really good, and Weatherford like they got their feet in concrete. Yikes. Third game of the day, and all 3 of them have started out kind of similar. One team that's just kind of jumped on the other one almost from the get-go and had had just padded the lead each quarter. This is officially our third game of the day. There will be two more coming. And those of you that are just hardcore sports fans, you'll likely, enjoy watching live prep from Kansas and Conway from Arkansas play. I don't know if any Okies would have tuned in even if we had done the broadcast. Not to say that we wouldn't have considered doing it, but we have made commitments to be in another town in Preston, and it is just about an hour and 55-minute drive from here. So we'll have to leave the conclusion of this game. But there are two more coming up today for day one action of the fourth annual or the 2024 SOS Showcase here at the Trey Young Family Athletic Center. Just a reminder, if you want to come on out today, easiest way to find it, I-35, go down Robinson, Northwest 24th, hang a left there, head to University Drive, hang a right, or you can go to the next turn in. You'll want to come to the furthest north building entrance that has 2201 out front. This is a very extensive, long building, 8 different courts. 7 of them run parallel side by side, technically 6. This one is the one that can go either direction, but is built to lay out traditional. As you can see, with the backboards kind of brought up in the air there, that takes out the ability to split the court with a flip side. So this is considered your main court, and then right there you can see that one way, way up there. Pretty much there's a partition that runs halfway through, so all the courts on the other side, 3 in effect through 8, are north-south and 1 and 2. This gives you an idea of right there what I'm talking about. There's your number 2 division. There's your number 1 right there. But it absolutely rolls like a block. Huge facility. It's bigger than I thought it was, I'll be honest with you. It has got an occupational therapy room, gym membership. It's got a full-scale gym, 2-story layout. It has a 8-lane Olympic-sized swimming pool with stands for teams and obviously competitive events. That's all the way to the northern end. There is an occupational therapy section and Center for Ortho Central. There is a concession stand, a reading room and eating room, kind of then abuts as a kind of research room for staff. You can plug in USB and USB 1A and electric plugs for 220. It has a multiple corridor section for restrooms and changing places. There's 4 in one corridor for men's and women's, and then 2 on the other side in between. And last but not least, it's got TVs smattered throughout where you can watch games and kind of just enjoy yourself in more of an upscale YMCA layout, even though in this particular case it's YFAC instead of YMCA. You'd have to be living under a rock not to know who Trey Young was, the Norman North standout who played for OU for 1 year and went pro, drafted by the Atlanta Hawks on a trade deal. Bam. So that's the first official field goal of the game, and it came at the right time because there's less than 10 seconds to go in the quarter. That's a nice move there. I like it. She could have tried to block the shot. Instead, she just kind of dropped her hand at her side. I think it kind of threw off the defender because she did a little too much arm candy on it. So misses the shot. Your score through 1, Madill 11, Weatherford 4. You're watching PNTV coverage of the 4th annual SOS Showcase. Schedule for tomorrow, if you're interested, you'll have to go out early in the morning to catch the first 2 games because we won't be doing them. At 9 a.m. will be Western Heights versus Madill boys, 10:30 will be Madill girls versus Lawton MacArthur. Both of those teams in action earlier today. In the starting of Prep Nation broadcast, 7 consecutive games. It'll be another out-of-state matchup. Tonight's matchup is Life Prep versus Conway, Arkansas. Tomorrow's 12 o'clock game will be Northside versus Life Prep. Both of those Kansas and Arkansas squads. And then at 1:30 p.m., Conway versus Newcastle girls. It just so happens that Conway has the leading potential player of the year candidate in the male category, but Conway boys not playing in the tournament, just the girls. At 3 p.m., it'll be the first boys. At 4:30 p.m., this very same Weatherford squad will be on the court against Dell City Eagle girls in a battle of all Eagles. At 6 p.m., the host team and Yukon Millers will host Class and SAS 6 p.m. boys game. 7:30 p.m. Midwest City versus Lawton MacArthur boys that played just earlier today. 7:30 toss out, and then at 9 p.m. to close the tournament, Weatherford versus Lawton High boys should be a barn burner of a game. So we'll broadcast 7 games tomorrow. Frankly, I don't know how many people will want to see the Arkansas-Kansas matchup, but that's my anticipation is to get there at noon or ish. So back-to-back threes for the Lady Eagles, and it is a 6-0 run now for Weatherford. So a really good start to the game from Madill. They had a 10-point lead, 11-1. Weatherford now kind of shaking off maybe some rust. They were here probably about an hour before the game started and went over to a different section of the building. But it is kind of cold in the building today. It's weird. The lobby is warm, but out here on the court, it's kind of purple knuckle day. I don't know if someone left the air conditioner on, but it sure feels like there could be one on. Like to thank Charleston's Interurban and Pub W in Norman, Oklahoma, being sponsors for today's coverage. Vecina's Mexican Cafe, locations in Hinton, El Reno, and Weatherford. AMC Theaters in the Patriot 13 complex in Lawton, Oklahoma. And last but not least, Fowler Toyota of Norman, a division of the Fowler Automotive Group. Miss Marley Teasley there passing us, saying hello, running to get the ball and hustling up. Doesn't surprise me at all. She is a ball hawk if there's ever been one. Teasley was our 4A Humbabe Player of the Year in fast pitch softball. We've likewise notified her just earlier today. She's now on the list officially for Miss Oklahoma as well. We will likely have 10 candidates for the girls. I don't know that we're going to go much higher than the boys right now. We've only got 3 on the list, and there's a couple other guys I've got my eye on, but I'm very confident that we've got the winner already on the list for that pairing. Girls, it's going to be a tough call this year with Cola adding track and Libby Jacques from Moore participating already in track. We've actually now going to have candidates for 3 sport lettering and potential all-state players. Libby, obviously all-state in softball, potentially basketball, already is for track. And then this year we'll give Alyssa Parker the first opportunity in school history for Pecola to have a track team. And Alyssa, obviously, all-state in softball and basketball. So we'll see what she can do on the track field, and it would not surprise me if she doesn't kick butt and take names there too. Misses the jump shot. Rebound Lady Eagles. Not to diss J.L. Austin, the Oklahoma State commit from Owasso. She likewise high on the list, as is Ella Resendez from Purcell. State champion in track, state champion runner-up, consolationist, I guess, in fast pitch softball. Miss Rowan Fight from Loki the Sickles as well, multi-sport athlete. So we got some good ones on the list. We'll continue to watch games all through the spring. I will not name the winner until at least late February, early March, could be as late as April before we announce Mr. and Miss Oklahoma. Like I said, I have a very good eye on the boys' side who it's going to be, but I want to give a fair shot to earn it. and more importantly, to prove that they are the best overall player in the state of Oklahoma. All right, Madill stops the streak. Had been a 10-point lead for the Lady Wildcats. Eagles came back and scored in effect 7-0 on a run. 2 threes and a free throw. That's Weatherford's score tally in effect. 2 free throws and 2 3-pointers stolen back by Weatherford. Nicely done. Jump shot outside the three, just on the line, just off the mark, no good. And the rebound Eagles. Here comes Weatherford. And virtual spot, just a little bit shorter in, misses them both. Both kind of ricochet in, out. Well, timeout call. That was definitely not developing the way that Madill wanted it to. Whether she self-tripped or just tied herself in a pretzel. Your score halfway through the second quarter. Madill 13, Weatherford 8. You're watching PNTV. Madill back up to a 7-point lead. Missed shot in the paint is no good. The rebound and putback is negated. Hard foul, though, so we will have 2 on the free throw line. Number 5 will be shooting a pair for Weatherford. My roster information is provided that is accurate. That is Braylee, or correction, I'm sorry, Brielle Wetby. Apologize if I mispronounced the name. Madill right to the bucket and scores back-to-back hoops for the Lady Wildcats, and the lead is up to 9. The shot by Weatherford blocks out, just can't quite post up. We're going to get a call that's favorable for Weatherford, though. Nope, correction. It is going to go. So the call is off Teasley, and she boxes up. Oh, wide open lane. And I think they're going to give her the range of motion on that. Some potential 3-point play coming up. That was a bad foul. Should have just left that one alone. You'd been better off shifting over and taking a potential charge. scenario than you would be just watching her go by and try to whack the wrist. Largest lead of the game for Madill now at 10. And she nails it. Outside the key, three-pointer is off the mark. And wide open layup, easy, beasy, breezy. 13-point lead, largest now of the game. Charlotte Navarre now bringing the ball up and kind of pump fake and go over in the corner. Have a block view. Passes over as well. And unable to keep possession of the ball. Easy layup again. Wow, this is kind of surprising, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. 15-point lead, largest of the game. It's been all Madill. You're watching PNTV coverage of the 4th annual SOS Sick of Sickle Cell Showcase here at the Trey Young Family Athletic Center in Norman, Oklahoma. So since Weatherford trimmed the lead to 8, it is back to 12 and a 4-0 run for Madill here. 4-0 run for Madill here. So Weatherford gets back in the scoring column, back to a 10-point lead. Substitution for Madill. Sorry, part of the view in the lower corner of the perimeter is blocked by the standing. We kind of set up here so that we're farther away from the main doors with noise. And then the bleachers, I really figured that most people would sit on the sidelines and the kids would be only on the ends. And To the Hoop misses the shot. However, the putback is good. So back to 8 points. So teams trade 4-0 runs. (31-21). Each time Weatherford gets it under. Oh, yeah. To the Hoop, score. Potential 3-point play from Marley Teasley coming up. Top of the key, no good. Well, this is the tightest that it's been since the second quarter, and that was early on. Madill has pretty much kept this at bay. Jump shot off the mark. Gonna have to get a little bit more aggressive in the paint. There's a lot of Eagles that are just kind of standing there letting the balls free fall. Sure looked like to me that that was a bump from behind that caused the ball to go out. But we are at a distance, so it looks like it's going to be called a turnover on Weatherford. I guess she stepped on the ball and missed her footing maybe, but it just kind of launched out of her hand like somebody had popped it out from behind. This will be our third and final game to broadcast today. The conclusion of this game, we will have an interview with the most outstanding player of the game, and then we'll upload the highlights for the game. It will be making our way to Preston for a presentation tonight. Timeout called Madill, so when we return, it'll be a entry for Weatherford. Only 36 seconds remain in the third quarter. It is tightened up considerably. So neither team having any success scoring. We've had about a drought of about a minute or so now. Madill looking to close out the third quarter strong. Weatherford wants to keep this to a potential 3-shot differential. With the right combination of threes and a foul, it could be 2, but otherwise you pretty much have to shoot 3 times and score to get the lead back. Oh, nice. So take it to 10. So Weatherford hit the buzzer beater in the second quarter to get a halftime, and Madill turns the favor and hits it to start the fourth quarter. 10-point lead, 34-24. Tune in, fourth quarter coming up. Another turnover. So minute and 20 seconds again, just like the third quarter. Nobody has scored, and a couple of tit for tats, turning it in, turning it on, turning it off. No matter how many years I see it, I will never get used to all the girls wearing different colored shoes. We used to always wear the same exact pair. It was just so weird seeing 5 or 6 different styles of shoes. Even though the girls on these teams, they are pretty comparable. Lots of them have got the same kind. Boom! Nothing but net. Marley Teasley with the dagger back to 7 points. And the air ball tries to put it back in. Speed and athleticism on display. 3 shots. Yeah, that's a backbreaker. You get that many chances, you've got to score at least one of them. And they were all right in there at the paint, 1-2 feet away. I'd say that it doesn't happen because it just did, but it shouldn't happen. Jump shot outside the 3, ricochets off the mark. Oh, bounces just the right way and turns it back over. So the teams had chances to get a stop and do. To the hoop, score. Madill back up by 9. Possession maintained by Weatherford after the ball is deflected. Three minutes have transpired in the fourth and final quarter. Madill has led virtually the entire game from the opening bucket. They've had a lead as much as 13 and down to 2. Jump shot from the corner off the mark, air ball, so no good on that. And we'll head back down our direction again. Post up, and I mean, that was about as easy of a path as you could get. No check, no block. Didn't cut off the lane, just let her pretty much go right around her. 4-0 run from Madill. Timeout, Weatherford. 4:35 remains in the fourth and final quarter. You're watching PNTV coverage of the SOS Sickle Cell Showcase. If you haven't gone over to our videos tab yet, please do so. We have got interviews up with multiple players, the so far most outstanding players of the games prior between Lawton, MacArthur, and Madill, and combination with North. If interested, Latrell Bailey from Lawton MacArthur was the boys' most outstanding player, and we had a tie for the first game. Paisley Grotjohn and Ariana Gooden from Northside, Arkansas, the co-players of the game. This one here, you'd have to think for Weatherford, Marley Teasley. For Madill, I don't know that it's going to be so cut and dry. There's been actually a couple of players that have done quite well, and so you're going to have to pick Pick your poison, and it may come down to who just gets the most points in the end. Number one has had a lion's share of the touches inside the paint. However, number 3 and number 23 have definitely had some as well. 9-point lead. Sorry about that. I didn't bump up the score. Weatherford has had multiple opportunities to get back into the game, but each time they get it to either 7 or 8, they just get a missed shot or a turnover and can't cut it back in half. And they go a long way in helping that. Rainbow 3 gets it to 6. That's the lowest it's been since the first quarter. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Go to the homepage, click subscribe. It's free. It'll prioritize content whenever you're in the app. You'll see our clips more often when you use the YouTube app. I'd like to thank our coverage sponsors, Charleston's, Interurban, and Pub W, all in Norman, Oklahoma. The Cena's Mexican Cafe, locations in El Reno, Hinton, and Weatherford. AMC Theaters with the Patriot 13 complex in Lawton. And Fowler Toyota of Norman, a division of the Fowler Automotive Group. Thank you for making today's live stream interviews and highlights available. Tomorrow we will broadcast the last 7 games of the day. Should be getting underway at approximately noon tomorrow. Games will shift from Norman to Yukon and from the Trey Young Family Athletic Center to Yukon High School's gym. We'll be adding some new teams into the mix tomorrow. Bam, bam, and there you go. Back to 6. Del City, Midwest City will be in action tomorrow for the first time. Same thing for Lawton High and Newcastle. We'll see Weatherford boys again, as well as the Weatherford girls. Life Prep, Conway, and Northside will be in action tomorrow. For the first time in the tournament, class and SAS will make their debut as well. It's not been the traditional way. I figured a lot of the teams, the boys would play and the girls, and has not been the case. Conway, Arkansas will only have the girls here. Class in SAS, I believe the boys only, not the vaunted girls team that is usually just lights out good. And there you go. The bucket makes it a 4-point game. Anybody's game now with 2 minutes to go. Madill has lost a 13-point lead, 40-36 Wildcats. We'll have another timeout called before a turnover. That play was not developing well, and head coach for Madill sees it coming and puts the IXO-NIXO on that. 154 remains. PNTV coverage, SOS Showcase. Oh, this one is tightened up. 2 minutes now, 123. Still a 2-possession game. 2-point game, man. This one has gone. I mean, it's become white knuckle time.